They arrested me for murder, dragged me from my forge in front of my customers, threw me in chains while my wife screamed. 20 witnesses swore they saw me kill a merchant in the marketplace, saw my face, my clothes, my distinctive scar. But I didn't do it. I was home that night, sleeping. My wife could testify, except nobody believed her, because 20 witnesses outweigh one wife, because the evidence was overwhelming, because I looked exactly like the killer. What nobody knew was that I had an identical twin brother, a brother I hadn't seen in 5 years, a brother who was using my face to commit crimes, who was destroying my life while building his own fortune. And unless I could prove he existed, unless I could show the impossible, that I was in 2 places at once, I'd hang for crimes I never committed. If you believe the most dangerous enemy is the one who shares your face, hit that subscribe button now. This story exposes how identity can become a weapon. My name is Eindride. I'm a blacksmith in Jarlsveen settlement, married to Gudrun for 8 years, 2 children, a simple, honest life. I make horseshoes, tools, weapons when needed. I'm known, respected. People trust me. Until 3 weeks ago when everything collapsed. It started with a theft. Merchant Bjorn reported that someone had stolen from his warehouse silver, furs, valuable trade goods. He'd seen the thief's face clearly, described him to the guards. The description matched me perfectly, right down to the scar on my left cheek from a childhood accident. It was Eindride, Bjorn swore. I saw him, clear as day, breaking into my warehouse, loading goods onto a cart. I shouted. He looked right at me. That scar, those eyes, it was definitely him. The guards came to my forge, asked where I was 3 nights ago. I told them home, with my family, asleep. They asked if anyone else could confirm. I said my wife. They noted it, but clearly didn't believe her testimony would matter. Wives always defend husbands. Everyone knows that. Did you steal from Merchant Bjorn? They asked directly. No, I've never stolen anything. I'm a blacksmith. I make enough to live. Why would I risk everything for silver I don't need? Desperation, greed, gambling debts, any number of reasons. They searched my forge, my home, looking for the stolen goods. Found nothing, because I hadn't taken them, hadn't been anywhere near Bjorn's warehouse. They let me go. Lack of evidence. But the damage was done. People whispered, pointed. Customers stopped coming to my forge. They believed Bjorn, believed I was a thief who'd gotten away with it. My reputation was destroyed overnight. Then came the second accusation. A woman, young, wealthy merchant's daughter. She claimed someone had tried to force himself on her, attacked her in an alley near the marketplace. She'd fought him off, screamed. He'd run. But she'd seen his face, described him in perfect detail. Me. Again. The scar, the build, the hair, color. Everything matched. She was certain, absolutely certain. The man who'd attacked her was Eindride, the blacksmith. I didn't do it, I said when the guards arrested me again. I was home. Ask my wife, ask my neighbors. I haven't been near the marketplace in days. Your wife says you were home. But she's your wife. She'd lie for you. And your neighbors? They didn't see you, didn't notice you. You could have slipped out, committed the crime, returned without anyone knowing. Why would I do that? I'm married, I have a family. Why would I attack a stranger? Maybe you're not the man everyone thinks you are. Maybe you're good at hiding your true nature. Maybe the theft was just the beginning. They locked me up that time. 3 days in the holding cell. My wife brought food, cried, begged me to tell her the truth. Did I do these things? Was I living a double life?
I swore I was innocent, swore someone was framing me. But even she looked uncertain. Even she was starting to doubt. The Jarl's court examined the evidence. The woman testified. Detailed, emotional, convincing. She described her attacker with perfect accuracy. It was me, or someone who looked exactly like me. The judge asked if I had anything to say. I'm innocent. Someone is impersonating me, using my appearance to commit crimes. I don't know who or why, but it's not me.
Do you have proof of this impersonation? Any evidence that someone else exists who looks like you?
No, but
then this court finds the evidence insufficient for conviction. However, Eindride, you are warned. If another accusation comes, if another victim identifies you, we will not be so lenient. One more crime, and you hang. Understand?
I understood. Someone was destroying my life, using my face, my reputation, my identity. And if they committed one more crime, especially murder, I'd be executed for it. Comment below if you've ever been blamed for something someone else did. Let me know you're still with me. I went home, paranoid, terrified, watching everyone, wondering who was doing this, who hated me enough to frame me. I had no enemies, no rivals, no one who'd benefit from my destruction. It made no sense. Then, a week later, the murder. Merchant Olaf was found dead in his home, throat cut. Robbery clearly the motive. His wife had been there. She'd seen the killer, fought with him, scratched his face, got blood under her nails. And when the guards asked her to describe him, she pointed at me. That's him. That's the man who killed my husband. I'd know him anywhere. That face, that scar. That's the murderer. They arrested me at dawn. No questions, no investigation, just chains and a cell. Because this time, there was physical evidence. Olaf's wife had scratched the killer's face, had blood under her nails. They tested it. It matched my blood. Impossible to deny. Impossible to explain. I was home, I said desperately. All night, with my family. They'll testify. Please, just ask them.
We did ask them. Your wife says you were there. But she said that before, too. And you still committed crimes. Her testimony is worthless. You're a murderer, Eindride. And this time, you hang. I sat in that cell, knowing I was doomed, knowing that somehow, impossibly, the evidence proved I'd killed Olaf. But I hadn't. I'd been home. I'd been sleeping. I had an alibi. But nobody believed it. Nobody cared. That's when my wife came to the cell. Her face was strange, shocked, like she'd seen something impossible. Eindride, I need to ask you something, and you need to tell me the truth. Do you have a brother? A twin brother? My blood went cold. I did. Once. Eirik. We were identical, but we haven't spoken in 5 years. Not since he left the settlement. Not since we fought. Why are you asking about him? Because I saw him. Today. In the marketplace. I saw your face, your scar, your exact appearance. But it wasn't you. You were here, in this cell, so it had to be someone else. Someone who looks exactly like you. Your twin. Eirik. The pieces fell into place. Suddenly, perfectly, horrifyingly. Eirik was back, and he was using our identical appearance to commit crimes, to frame me, to destroy my life while enriching his own. The theft, the assault, the murder, all Eirik, all blamed on me. But how could I prove it? How could I show that I had a twin, that someone else existed who looked exactly like me? Unless I could find Eirik.
unless I could put us in the same room, unless I could show the impossible, that there were two of us, I'd hang for my brother's crimes.
Gudrun believed me. Finally. Completely. She'd seen Eirik with her own eyes, seen my face in the marketplace while I was locked in a cell, seen the impossible. But seeing wasn't enough. We needed proof. We needed to find Eirik, bring him before the Jarl, show everyone that two of us existed. "Where would he be?" Gudrun asked. "Where would your twin brother hide if he's been in the settlement all this time committing crimes using your face?" "Somewhere he could watch me, study me, learn my habits, my routines. Somewhere close enough to strike, but distant enough to avoid recognition. The edge settlements, the farms, the places where strangers aren't questioned, where a man with your face would blend in because nobody knows you well enough to notice details." "But which farm? There are dozens. We can't search them all. I don't have time. The trial is in 3 days. If we don't find him by then, I hang." Gudrun thought hard. "The stolen goods, from Bjorn's warehouse. Where would Eirik sell them? Where would he take valuable furs and silver? Not in this settlement, too risky. But neighboring settlements? Places where nobody knows you? Where he could trade freely?" "Vestfold, the trading settlement 2 days north. It's big enough for anonymity, small enough that unusual goods would be noticed. If Eirik sold Bjorn's stolen merchandise, someone there would remember." "I'll go. I'll ask questions. Show your face. See if anyone recognizes you as the trader. If they do, we'll know Eirik was there. We'll have proof he exists." "It's dangerous. If people think you're helping a murderer escape justice." "Then let them think it. I'm not losing you to your brother's crimes. I'm finding proof. Stay here. Don't do anything stupid. Let me handle this." She left that morning, took our savings, headed north to Vestfold. Meanwhile, I sat in my cell and thought about Eirik, about our childhood, about why we'd become enemies. We'd been close once, identical twins, inseparable. People could barely tell us apart. Even our mother sometimes got confused. We'd used that, played tricks, switched places, enjoyed confusing everyone. It was innocent, fun, until it wasn't. The trouble started when we were 18. There was a girl, Astrid, beautiful, kind. I loved her, planned to marry her. But Eirik loved her too, wanted her for himself. He couldn't stand that she'd chosen me over him, couldn't accept that for once someone could tell us apart, could prefer one twin over the other. So Eirik did something unforgivable. He pretended to be me, visited Astrid, told her I'd changed my mind about marriage, said I'd found someone else, said I didn't want her anymore, used my face, my voice, my identity to break her heart. By the time I learned what he'd done, Astrid was devastated, wouldn't speak to me, wouldn't believe it was Eirik, not me, who'd rejected her. She left the settlement, married someone else. I never saw her again. I confronted Eirik. We fought, physically, brutally. I beat him badly, told him I never wanted to see him again, told him he was dead to me. He left the settlement that night. I thought he was gone forever, thought I'd never have to deal with his jealousy and manipulation again. I was wrong. He'd come back, and this time, he wasn't just ruining my love life, he was destroying my entire existence. Using our identical appearance to frame me for crimes, to steal, to assault, to murder, while building himself a fortune with stolen goods. Would you forgive a twin who destroyed your life, or seek justice? Tell me in the comments. Gudrun returned 2 days later, exhausted, excited. I found witnesses. 3 traders in Vestfold remember a man with your face, your scar,
your build. He sold them furs and silver, expensive goods. They asked where he got them. He said inheritance. Said his father had died and left him valuable merchandise. They believed him, paid him well. He's been living comfortably off Bjorn's stolen goods. Did they know where he's staying? Where we can find him? They said he mentioned a farm, Prolf's farm, on the eastern edge of this settlement. Prolf rents rooms to travelers, doesn't ask questions. Perfect place for Eirik to hide while watching you, while planning his next crime. We need to go there, now. Bring him back. Show the Jarl that two of us exist. The guards won't let you leave. You're accused of murder. They're not releasing you to hunt down a twin brother they don't believe exists. Then you go. Bring witnesses. Bring people who've seen both of us. Bring proof that can't be denied. Gudrun went to Hrolf's farm. I stayed in my cell, praying, hoping, terrified that Eirik would realize we were onto him, that he'd run before we could expose him. She found him. Or rather, she found evidence he'd been there. A room rented under a false name, personal belongings, stolen goods hidden under the floorboards. But Eirik himself was gone. Warned somehow. Fled before she arrived. He knew we were coming, Gudrun said. Her voice was hollow. Someone tipped him off, told him we'd discovered his location. He ran, left everything behind, just vanished. Then we use what he left, the stolen goods, the personal items, anything that proves someone else has been impersonating me. The guards searched the room, found the stolen merchandise from multiple robberies, found clothes that matched witness descriptions, found a journal, Eirik's journal, detailing every crime, every time he'd used my face, every person he'd fooled, written proof that someone else existed, that I'd been framed. But the Jarl wasn't convinced. This could be your journal, your room. You could have hidden these things, could have created this elaborate story to avoid execution. I need more than stolen goods and a journal. I need the twin himself. I need to see two of you in the same room. Otherwise, I assume this is all fiction. All desperate lies from a guilty man. He fled. He
knows we're onto him. He won't come back. Then you'll hang, because without proof, without your twin standing before me, I have no choice but to believe the witnesses, to believe you're guilty. The execution is tomorrow at dawn. Unless you can produce your brother, unless you can show me the impossible, you die. I had one night to find Eirik, to bring him to justice, to save my own life. But how do you find someone who looks exactly like you? Someone who knows all your habits? Someone who spent 5 years planning this revenge? Then I remembered the scar, the one thing that made us slightly different. Eirik had a scar too. Not on his left cheek like me, on his right hand, from the same childhood accident that gave me my facial scar. We'd been climbing a tree. Both fell, both got hurt. Different injuries, different scars. Proof that we were two different people. If I could find someone who'd seen Eirik's hand scar, someone who'd noticed, someone who could testify that the man with my face had a scar in a different place, that would be proof. Physical proof, undeniable. The woman, Olaf's widow. She'd fought with the killer, scratched his face, got his blood. But had she seen his hands? Had she noticed any scars? Any marks that weren't on my body? I need to talk to her, I told the guards. To Olaf's widow. I need to ask her one question, just one. It could prove my innocence. They brought her, reluctant, angry. She'd identified me as her husband's killer. Why would she help me now? You scratched the killer, I said. You fought him. Did you see his hands? Did you notice any scars? Any marks? Why does that matter? I saw your face. That's all that matters. Please, just answer. Did the killer have any scars on his hands?
she thought, remembering. Yes, he did. On his right hand, between the thumb and forefinger, a jagged scar, like from a bad cut or fall. I remember because when he grabbed me, I saw it clearly. Tried to grab that hand, to hurt him there. I held up my hands, both of them, palms out. No scars, clean, unmarked except for the usual blacksmith calluses. Look, no scar on my right hand. The man who killed your husband had a scar I don't have. That means it wasn't me. It was someone else. Someone who looks like me, but has different marks. My twin brother, Eirik. Her face went white. You have a twin? Yes, identical, except for scars. He has one on his right hand. I have one on my left cheek. Slightly different injuries from the same accident. Proof that we're two people. Proof that I didn't kill your husband. Eirik did. Then I identified the wrong man. I sent an innocent man to execution. Oh, gods. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't apologize. Help me. Testify about the hand scar. Help me prove to the Jarl that my twin exists, that I've been framed. Please. She agreed. And suddenly, I had hope.
The widow's testimony about the hand scar was crucial, but the Jarl wanted more, wanted absolute proof. Scars can be faked, he said, cut, created. This proves someone had a mark on their hand, not that you have a twin brother, not that you're innocent. Then let me prove it another way, I said. Let me show you something impossible, something that would require two people to accomplish, an alibi that can't be faked. What kind of alibi? The night of the murder, Olaf was killed around midnight. Multiple witnesses saw the killer leave Olaf's house at that time, but I was also seen somewhere else, at exactly the same time, by multiple witnesses. I can prove I was in two places at once, which is impossible for one person, but possible for twins. The Jarl leaned forward, interested. Explain. The night Olaf died, there was a fire. In the western quarter, 3 houses burned. I helped fight it. Was there for hours. From sunset until past midnight. Dozens of people saw me. Can testify I was there, working, fighting the blaze. And Olaf's murder? Happened in the eastern quarter, miles away, while I was fighting the fire in the west. His wife says the killer was there around midnight, the exact time I was being seen by dozens of witnesses in a completely different location. One person can't be in 2 places, but 2 people can. Eirik killed Olaf while I was establishing an alibi, while everyone could see me. The guards checked, interviewed witnesses from the fire, confirmed my story. Yes, Eindride the blacksmith had been there, fighting the flames, from sunset until well past midnight. Dozens remembered, could testify, no doubt at all. So either you have the ability to be in 2 places at once, the Jarl said slowly, or you have a twin brother who committed murder while you were visible elsewhere. This is compelling, but I still need more. I need the brother himself. I need to see both of you, standing together, proving you're 2 people. Then let's trap him. Let's use me as bait. Eirik wants me dead, wants me executed for his crimes. He'll be watching my execution tomorrow, watching to make sure I hang, watching to make sure he gets away with everything. We can grab him then, expose him publicly. He'll see it coming. He'll avoid the execution, stay hidden. Not if we make it look real. Not if everyone believes I'm actually being executed, including Eirik. He has to think he won, has to feel safe coming out of hiding to watch his revenge succeed. Would you risk a fake execution to catch your evil twin? Comment your answer. The Jarl considered. You're proposing we stage your execution? Make everyone believe you're being hanged? While actually searching the crowd for your brother? Yes.
Eirik won't be able to resist watching. He'll want to see me die, want confirmation that his plan worked. That's when we grab him, when we prove I'm innocent by showing two of us exist. It's risky. If we don't find him in the
crowd, if he doesn't show, you'll have been humiliated for nothing. Your reputation will be even worse. Everyone will know you tried to fake an execution. I'm already doomed. My reputation is already destroyed. At least this gives me a chance. Please, let me try. The Jarl agreed. We planned it carefully. The execution would proceed normally. I'd be walked to the platform. The noose would be placed around my neck. But the rope would be rigged, not actually lethal. I'd drop, but not die. While everyone watched me die, guards would search the crowd, looking for my face, looking for someone watching with satisfaction, looking for Eirik. The morning came. They walked me from the cell, through the settlement, toward the execution platform in the central square. Hundreds had gathered, witnesses, victims, people who wanted to see the thief, attacker, and murderer finally punished. I saw their faces, their hatred, their certainty that I deserved this. I looked for Eirik, scanned the crowd, looking for my face, my build, someone who looked exactly like me. But there were too many people, too much chaos. I couldn't spot him. They put me on the platform, read the charges: murder, assault, theft, multiple victims, multiple crimes. The evidence overwhelming, the judgment clear. Death by hanging. Did I have any last words? I'm innocent. My twin brother committed these crimes. Eirik, if you're watching, I hope this destroys you. I hope knowing you killed me eats at you forever. The noose went around my neck. I felt the rope, rough, tight. I prayed the rigging worked, prayed I wouldn't actually die. The executioner pulled the lever. The platform dropped. I fell. The rope caught. Everything went black for a moment. Then I was lowering, slowly, the rigged rope working. I wasn't dead, wasn't even badly hurt, just pretending. The crowd believed it, though, believed I'd died. Some cheered, some looked satisfied. Justice served, the criminal punished. Guards moved through them, searching faces, looking for someone who looked too much like me, looking for satisfaction that seemed personal, intimate. There, near the back, a figure in a hooded cloak, watching, smiling slightly. The hood fell back for just a second. My face, my exact face. Eirik. He'd come. Couldn't resist watching his revenge succeed. And he'd given himself away. Guards converged. Eirik saw them. Started to run. But there were too many. They tackled him, dragged him forward, brought him to the platform, where I was dead on the ground, where everyone could see both of us, together, identical. Proof. The crowd gasped, shocked, confused. Two of us? How? What was happening? The Jarl stood up. Behold, Eindride and Eirik, twin brothers, identical. One innocent, one guilty. One who's been framed for crimes he didn't commit. One who's been using his brother's face to steal, assault, and murder. Can anyone here now say with certainty which twin they saw commit crimes? Can anyone swear it was? Eindride and not Eirik? The witnesses hesitated, looked between us, suddenly uncertain. We looked exactly the same. Exactly. How could they know who they'd really seen? How could they be sure? Check his hand, the widow said. The killer had a scar on his right hand. Check his hand. Guards grabbed Eirik's right hand, pulled back his sleeve. There it was, the jagged scar, between thumb and forefinger, exactly where she'd described. Proof. Physical proof. Undeniable. I didn't kill anyone, Eirik said. His voice was calm, casual, like this was all amusing. You can't prove I did anything. So we look alike. So what? That doesn't make me a murderer. Then explain the scar. Explain being in Vestfold selling stolen goods. Explain the journal we found detailing every crime. Explain watching this execution with satisfaction. Explain everything. Eirik laughed. Fine. Yes, I did it. All of it. I stole. I attacked that stupid woman. I killed Olaf. And I framed my dear brother for everything. Because he deserved it. Because 5 years ago, he stole the woman I loved, turned her against me, beat me, exiled me. He ruined my life. So I came back and ruined his. Fair trade. You murdered an innocent man for revenge against your brother? I murdered a rich man and took his money. The revenge was just a bonus. Eindride taking the blame was just convenient, efficient. Why steal and risk getting caught when I can use his face, when people will automatically blame him? It was perfect. Would have worked, too, if he hadn't figured out I existed. You're confessing? To murder? To all of it? Why not? You've got me. You've got proof. I'm not getting out of this. Might as well be honest. Might as well let everyone know exactly how clever I was. How I fooled them all. How I destroyed my brother's life for 5 years while enriching myself. That's worth admitting. The crowd was silent, stunned. The casual evil, the complete lack of remorse. Eirik wasn't sorry, wasn't ashamed. He was proud, boastful, enjoying his moment of infamy. Then you'll hang, the Jarl said. For real this time. No rigged ropes, no tricks. You'll die for your crimes. And Eindride will be cleared, compensated, his reputation restored. Justice served. Eirik looked at me, really looked at me. It was worth it, all of it, just to see your face when you realized I was destroying you, just to watch you suffer. Even dying now is worth it, because I won for 5 years. I made you hurt. That's enough. You won nothing. You lost everything. Your life, your soul, your humanity. You became a monster for petty revenge, and now everyone knows it. Everyone will remember you as evil, pathetic, a cautionary tale, while I'll be remembered as the man who survived, who proved his innocence, who beat his evil twin. That's the legacy. Mine, not yours. They took Eirik away. This time, there was no rigging, no tricks. He hanged for real. And I watched my identical twin die. Watched the man who shared my face, my blood, my childhood, become a murderer and pay the price. It should have felt good, felt like justice. Instead, it just felt sad. Sad that genetics and jealousy had created something so twisted, so evil. But at least it was over. The formal trial happened 3 days later. Not for me anymore, for Eirik. But it was important. The settlement needed to hear everything, needed to understand how one man had fooled them all, how an evil twin had used identity to destroy his brother and commit crimes without consequence. The Thing Assembly gathered, full attendance. Everyone wanted to hear the story, wanted to understand what had happened, how they'd been deceived. Eirik stood in chains at the center. I stood beside him, living proof that 2 of us existed, that all the witnesses had been partially right. They'd seen crimes committed by someone with my face, just not me. This assembly addresses multiple crimes, the law speaker announced. Theft from Merchant Bjorn,
assault on a young woman, murder of merchant Olaf, all committed by Eirik, but blamed on his twin brother Eindrida. We're here to establish truth, to understand deception, to serve justice. The witnesses testified, one by one. The woman I'd allegedly assaulted went first. She looked between us, confused, ashamed. They're identical, exactly identical. How could I have known? How could anyone know? The scar, the law speaker said. Show us your scars, both of you. I touched my left cheek, the obvious facial scar everyone knew. Eirik held up his right hand, the scar between thumb and forefinger. Different locations. Proof we were different people despite identical faces. When you were attacked, the law speaker asked the woman, did you see the attacker's hand scar? Did you notice any marks? I don't remember. I was terrified, fighting. I saw his face mostly, his eyes. I didn't notice hands, didn't notice small details. I just saw the face and remembered it. That's all. So you identified Eindrida based only on facial appearance, not on the complete picture? Yes, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know there were two of them. Didn't know twins existed. I just saw a face that matched and assumed it was the same man. It was the same with every witness. They'd seen a face, remembered it, identified me. But when pressed for details, scars, voices, specific mannerisms, they couldn't be sure, couldn't distinguish. Because Eirik had been careful, had studied me, had copied my behavior perfectly. Why? Someone in the assembly asked. Why did you do this? Why frame your own brother? Would you want to hear your evil twin explain why he destroyed your life? Comment your thoughts. Eirik smiled, not ashamed, not remorseful, enjoying the attention. Because he deserved it. Because 5 years ago, Eindrida stole the woman I loved, turned Astrid against me, made her believe I was worthless. When I tried to win her back, when I tried to make her see we belonged together, Eindrida attacked me, beat me bloody, told me to leave and never come back. So I left, and I spent 5 years planning revenge. So you murdered an innocent man? Assaulted a woman? Stole from merchants? Just to hurt your brother?
Not just to hurt him, to profit too. The theft funded my life, gave me resources. The assault was opportunity. Wrong place, wrong time. She was there, I was angry. I took my frustration out on her. Not proud of it, but it happened. And the murder? Olaf was rich, kept gold in his house. I needed money. He was a target. That I could blame Eindridi for it was just bonus. You show no remorse. Why would I? Remorse doesn't change anything. Doesn't bring Olaf back, doesn't undo the assault, doesn't return stolen goods. I did what I did. I'd probably do it again, except smarter. I'd make sure Eindridi actually died next time. Make sure there was no chance for him to prove his innocence. The casual evil silenced the assembly. This wasn't a desperate man who'd made mistakes. This was calculated malice, planned destruction. Someone who viewed other people as tools, as obstacles, as acceptable collateral damage in his revenge scheme. The evidence is clear, the Jarl said. Eirik committed multiple crimes using his twin's appearance, framed an innocent man, destroyed a reputation, nearly caused a wrongful execution. The question is sentence. What punishment fits these crimes? Death, Olaf's widow said. He murdered my husband, in our home, while I watched. He deserves death. Death,
the assaulted woman agreed. He attacked me, traumatized me, made me fear for my life. Death is justice. Death, Merchant Bjorn added. He stole from me, blamed an innocent man, used our trust in Eindridi against us. Death is the only answer. The assembly voted. Unanimous. Death by hanging. For murder primarily, but also for the combined weight of all his crimes. For the betrayal of brotherhood, for the calculated evil of using family resemblance as a weapon. I don't care, Eirik said when they announced the sentence. I lived well for 5 years, enjoyed myself, made money, hurt the person I wanted to hurt. That's worth dying for. I have no regrets. What about the people you hurt? I asked. The woman you assaulted? The man you murdered? The wife you widowed? Do they factor into your calculations at all? No. They were means to an end. Tools. Obstacles. I don't think about tools once I'm done using them. Then you're not just evil. You're empty. Hollow. You have no humanity left. Just ambition and revenge and greed. That's worse than being a monster. That's being nothing. Eirik shrugged. Call it what you want. I lived how I wanted, did what I wanted. That's more than most people can say. Most spend their whole lives following rules, being good, being respectful. And what do they get? Nothing. Just a boring life and a forgettable death. I'll be remembered. People will talk about me, about the twin who fooled everyone. That's immortality of a sort. People will talk about you as a cautionary tale, as an example of what not to be, as proof that evil destroys itself. That's not immortality. That's infamy. Same thing, really. Both involve
being remembered. Both involve leaving a mark. I'm fine with that. They took him to prepare for execution. He went calmly, peacefully, like a man heading to dinner rather than death. No fear, no regret, just acceptance and satisfaction that his revenge had partially succeeded, that he'd hurt me, that he'd enjoyed 5 years of crime and profit before being caught. I watched them take him, wondered how we'd ended up so different. Same genetics, same upbringing, same childhood. Yet he became a monster, and I became normal. What caused that divergence? What made him choose evil when I chose good? Was it just jealousy over Astrid? Or was there something deeper, something fundamental that had always been different between us? I'd never know. And maybe that was for the best. Maybe understanding evil only helps evil spread. Maybe some things should stay mysterious, unexplained, just acknowledged as tragedy and left in the past. The execution was scheduled for dawn, real this time. No tricks, no rigged ropes. Just justice for a man who'd admitted everything, who'd shown no remorse, who destroyed lives without caring. The settlement would watch, would see proof that crimes had consequences, that using someone else's identity couldn't save you forever. And I would watch too, not for revenge, not for satisfaction, but for closure. For the final proof that Eric was gone, that the nightmare was over, that I could rebuild my life without looking over my shoulder, without wondering when the next accusation would come, without fear that my face was being used somewhere to commit crimes I'd be blamed for. Tomorrow at dawn, my evil twin would die, and I would finally be free. They hanged Eirik at dawn. The entire settlement attended, not for entertainment, for closure, for proof that justice worked, that evil was punished, that the nightmare of the evil twin was finally over. Eirik walked to the platform without resistance, chains around his wrists, guards on either side. He looked at the crowd, smiled slightly, enjoying his last moment of attention, his last chance to be seen, remembered. He looked at me, stood there across from him, his identical twin, the man he'd tried to destroy, the brother he'd betrayed. "No hard feelings?" he said. His voice was light, casual, like we were parting after a meal, not before his execution. "I have nothing but hard feelings," I said. "You tried to destroy my life, my family, my reputation. You murdered an innocent man, assaulted a woman, stole from honest merchants, all to satisfy your jealousy and greed. I'm glad you're dying, glad this is over. Even though I'm your brother, your twin, the person who shared your mother's womb, who grew up beside you, who was your other half for 18 years? You stopped being my brother 5 years ago, when you used my face to hurt Astrid, when you chose revenge over family. You're not my twin anymore. You're just a criminal getting what he deserves." Eirik shrugged. "Fair enough. I did choose revenge, and I don't regret it. I'd do it all again. Maybe next time we're born, I'll be smarter. I'll make sure you actually die. Make sure there's no chance for escape. There is no next time. This life is all we get, and you wasted yours on hatred. Matter of perspective. I enjoyed my 5 years, had adventures, made money. Hurt someone who hurt me. That's not waste. That's living." They put the noose around his neck. He didn't flinch, didn't beg, didn't show fear, just stood there, waiting, accepting. The executioner asked if he had final words. "Yes, to everyone here, you were all fooled by a simple trick, by twins, by identical faces. That should scare you, should make you question what you see, who you trust. Because if I could fool you all for years, what else are you missing? Who else is lying to your faces? Think about that. Question everything." The executioner pulled the lever. The platform dropped. Eirik fell. The rope caught. His neck snapped. Quick. Clean. Merciful considering what he'd done. He died instantly. No suffering. No prolonged pain. Just there one moment and gone the next. The crowd was silent, watching, processing. The evil twin was dead. Justice served. But Eirik's final words had landed, had people thinking, questioning, wondering what else they might have missed, what other lies they'd believed. It was his last act of chaos, his last attempt to spread doubt and fear. "Don't let his words poison you," the Jarl said, his voice carried across the assembly. Eirik was one man, one evil twin, one rare circumstance. This isn't common, isn't something you need to fear constantly. Most people are who they appear to be. Most faces aren't masks. Trust isn't stupid. Vigilance is smart. But paranoia destroys communities. Don't let Eirik's evil make you suspicious of everyone. That's letting him win, even in death. Would you trust people the same after the story, or question everyone? Comment honestly. People nodded, relaxing slightly. The Jarl was right. Eirik was exceptional, unusual, not representative of everyone. Trust had to continue. Community had to function. Otherwise, his evil would outlive him, would corrupt the settlement from beyond the grave. They buried Eirik in unmarked ground. No ceremony, no honor, just a hole and dirt, the minimum required by law. He'd left no will, no possessions worth keeping, just stolen goods that were returned to rightful owners and debts that went unpaid. His legacy was nothing, less than nothing, just a name people would try to forget. As for me, the Jarl called a special assembly 3 days after the execution. Everyone attended, curious, wondering what would happen to the innocent twin. How do you compensate someone who'd been framed for months, who'd nearly died for crimes he didn't commit? "Eindride," the Jarl said, "you suffered greatly, were falsely accused, imprisoned, nearly executed. Your reputation was destroyed, your business ruined, your family traumatized. The settlement owes you compensation, owes you justice in the form of restitution." He handed me a heavy pouch. Gold. Lots of it. "This is from the Jarl's treasury. Payment for your suffering, for the business you lost, for the reputation damage. It's not enough, can never be enough, but it's what we can offer." "Thank you, my lord. This is generous, more than I expected." "There's more. Your forge. We're rebuilding it, expanding it, making it twice the size, with new tools, better equipment, a workshop worthy of the settlement's master blacksmith. You'll have apprentices, assistants, everything you need to rebuild your business." That's incredible. Thank you." "And finally, your reputation. We're making sure everyone knows the truth, knows you were innocent, knows Eirik committed the crimes. We're spreading word to neighboring settlements, to traders, to travelers, making sure your name is cleared everywhere, making sure nobody doubts your honor." The assembly applauded, cheered. People who'd been so certain of my guilt were now equally certain of my innocence. Were ashamed they doubted, were eager to make amends. Merchant Bjorn approached after. "I'm sorry. I was so certain it was you, so confident. I never considered twins, never questioned what I saw. I judged quickly and wrongly. Please forgive me." "You saw what Eirik wanted you to see. He was good at deception, practiced. I don't blame you for being fooled. I'm just glad the truth came out before it was too late." The assaulted woman came next, still traumatized but healing. "I testified against you, almost got you killed. I'm so sorry, so deeply sorry. I should "Have been more careful, should have noticed details, should have questioned. You were terrified, traumatized. You did what felt right, what felt safe. That's not wrong, that's human. I forgive you. I hope you can heal. I hope my brother's evil doesn't haunt you forever." Olaf's widow was last.
"I wanted you dead, was certain you'd murdered my husband, was ready to watch you hang. Then I learned about the hand scar, about the twin, about how close I came to killing an innocent man. I don't know how to live with that, how to forgive myself."
"By understanding that you did your best. You identified who you thought was guilty. You testified honestly. You weren't wrong about the face, just wrong about which twin it belonged to. That's not your fault. That's Eric's. He's the one who caused all this. He's the one who bears responsibility. Not you, not any of the witnesses. Just him." She cried, thanked me, promised to pray for me, to honor my mercy and forgiveness. It was healing for both of us, letting go of anger, releasing blame, moving forward. My family adjusted slowly. Gudrun had nightmares, dreamed of watching me hang, dreamed of Eric returning, using my face again. It took months before she could look at me without fear flickering in her eyes, before she could trust that the nightmare was truly over. My children had questions. Why did Uncle Eric do bad things? Why did he look like you? Are you sure you're really Daddy and not Uncle pretending? Hard questions, age-appropriate answers. Uncle Eric was sick, not in his body but in his heart. He made bad choices, hurt people, but he's gone now. And yes, I'm really Daddy. I would never hurt anyone, never do what Uncle did.
I promise. Slowly, gradually, life returned to normal. The forge reopened, customers returned, business thrived. Better than before, actually. People felt guilty about doubting me, overcompensated by giving me more work, paying more, recommending me to everyone. My reputation wasn't just restored, it was enhanced. I became known as the blacksmith who'd beaten his evil twin, who'd proven his innocence against impossible odds. Sometimes people asked to see my left cheek scar, wanted proof I was really Eindried, not Eric's ghost. I showed them every time, patiently, understanding their need for certainty, for verification. The scar became a mark of identity, of truth, a physical proof I was who I claimed to be. Years passed, 5 years, then 10. The story became legend, the evil twin who'd fooled everyone, the innocent brother who'd survived. Children were told the tale as warning, as lesson, as proof that things aren't always what they seem, that identity can be complicated, that truth requires investigation, not assumption. If you believe true identity comes from actions, not appearance, hit that subscribe button now. Tell me in the comments, could you trust your own twin? Or would identical faces create inevitable conflict? In the world of Vikings, blood doesn't guarantee loyalty. Identical faces can hide opposite souls, and every tale of evil twins ends with truth and justice. Eirik wanted to destroy me, wanted revenge for a rejection that wasn't even my fault. He succeeded, partially, ruined my reputation, traumatized my family, nearly got me executed. But ultimately, he failed, because truth emerged, because people investigated, because one person can't be in two places at once. I survived, thrived, built a better life than before, became known not just as a blacksmith, but as a man of honor, a man who'd faced false accusations with dignity, who'd forgiven his accusers, who'd proven that innocence wins when given chance to present evidence. And Eirik? He's forgotten, a footnote in settlement history, the evil twin who got what he deserved. Nobody names children after him. Nobody honors his memory. He wanted immortality through infamy. He got obscurity through evil. Sometimes I wonder what he was thinking in those final moments, falling toward death, knowing he'd failed to completely destroy me, knowing his revenge was incomplete. Did he regret? Did he wish he'd chosen differently? Or did he die satisfied that he'd hurt me at all, even if not as much as he'd wanted? I'll never know. And that's fine. Some questions don't need answers. Some mysteries are better left unsolved. What matters is that I'm here. My family is safe. My life is good. And the evil twin is gone forever. Skål, warriors, until the next saga.